The suite is silent. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook a private medical campus somewhere outside Los Angeles. Tiger Woods sits in a leather chair, hands folded, staring at a folder on the mahogany table in front of him. Inside that folder are MRI scans, surgical blueprints, and a number that doesn't just represent cost, it represents a gamble. $50 million. Not for a guarantee. Not for a miracle. For a chance. Across from him, 3 of the world's leading orthopedic surgeons sit perfectly still. One of them leans forward, just slightly, and says the words Tiger has been waiting and dreading to hear. This is experimental. If it works, you could play again. If it doesn't. The sentence hangs in the air. Tiger doesn't blink. Outside, the sun dips below the horizon. Inside, a decision is being made that will define not just a comeback, but a legacy. This is not a story about golf. This is a story about a man who refuses to accept that his body has given up on him. And in 2026, the world is about to find out if his refusal was courage or denial. If you believe some battles are worth fighting no matter the cost, stay with us, because this story doesn't go where you think. And if this kind of storytelling moves you, subscribe. We're building something different here. Let's rewind. December 2024. Tiger Woods withdraws from the PNC Championship. Officially, it's listed as precautionary. Unofficially, people close to him say he could barely walk after 9 holes. His back, fused in 2017, has been deteriorating. His right ankle, reconstructed after the 2021 car crash, is held together by plates and hope. And his left knee, which has undergone 5 surgeries since 1994, is now bone on bone. For most athletes, this would be the end. For Tiger, it's a blueprint, because what the public doesn't know, what even his closest circle didn't know until March 2025, is that Tiger had already begun assembling a team. Not just any team. The kind of team you build when you're not interested in managing pain. You're interested in erasing it. Dr. Anish Mahajan. Orthopedic reconstruction specialist. Worked with Navy SEALs on experimental joint restoration. Dr. Elena Vasquez. Biomechanics engineer. Designed limb stabilization tech for Paralympic athletes. And Dr. Kenji Takahashi. Cellular regeneration researcher. Published work on cartilage regrowth that most surgeons called science fiction. Together, they pitched Tiger something the sports world had never seen, a full-body structural overhaul. Not one surgery. 7. Staged over 18 months. Using techniques that hadn't been FDA approved for athletes. Cost? $50 million, most of it out of pocket. Timeline? Aggressive. Success rate? Unknown. Tiger listened to the entire presentation in silence. Then he asked one question. Can I swing a club again? Dr. Mahajan didn't sugarcoat it. We don't know. But if you do nothing, the answer is definitely no. April 2025. Tiger checks into an undisclosed facility in Switzerland. No cameras. No social media. Just him, his team, and a surgical plan that reads like something out of a thriller. Phase 1, spinal realignment using robotic-assisted microfusion. They're not just stabilizing his lower back, they're rebuilding the biomechanics of his entire spine, vertebra by vertebra. It's a 16-hour procedure. Tiger wakes up in a room with no windows. He's told not to sit up for 72 hours. He doesn't. But his eyes are open. And they're not looking at the ceiling. They're looking at a photograph taped to the wall across from him. It's a picture of the 18th green at Augusta. And underneath it, in his own handwriting, 2 words, not yet. Recovery is brutal. He's relearning how to stand. How to balance. How to breathe without his ribs pulling against surgical mesh. And yet, when Dr. Vasquez visits him in week 3, she finds him doing isometric core holds in bed. She doesn't say anything. She just adjusts his monitors and walks out. But later, she'll tell colleagues, I've worked with Olympians. I've worked with soldiers. I've never seen someone that determined to suffer correctly. June 2025. Phase 2 begins. Right ankle reconstruction. They're removing the old hardware, plates, screws, all of it, and replacing it with a bioscaffolding implant designed to integrate with bone tissue over time. It's lighter, stronger, and completely unproven in a rotational athlete. The risk? If his body rejects it, he'll never walk without a cane. Tiger signs the consent form without reading it. While he's under, his team has a conversation he'll never hear. Dr. Takahashi pulls Mahajan aside. His pain tolerance is masking the data. He's not reporting half of what he's feeling. Mahajan nods. I know. So what do we do? Mahajan looks through the glass at Tiger, unconscious on the table, and says something that will define the rest of this journey. We trust him to know his own body better than we do. It's a strange moment of faith. Not in science. In will.by August, Tiger is walking again. Not well. But walking. He's in physical therapy 6 hours a day. Most of it is agony. Some of it is just tedious. But there's a shift happening that even his doctors didn't predict. His body is starting to remember. Not what it used to be, but what it could be. During one session, his PT asks him to rotate his torso, just a test of spinal mobility. Tiger rotates. Then keeps rotating. Further than he has in 8 years. The PT stares. Tiger doesn't smile. He just says, again. And that's when people who know him start to realize, this isn't rehab. This is reinvention. September 2025. Tiger posts a photo on Instagram. It's vague, a gym floor, a pair of shoes, no caption. But eagle-eyed fans notice something. In the reflection of the mirror, there's a golf club leaning against the wall. The internet explodes. Speculation runs wild. Is he swinging again? Is this real? His team says nothing. But privately, Dr. Vasquez runs a gait analysis on him using motion capture tech. Her report is leaked 6 months later, and it changes everything. Tiger's biomechanics, his hip rotation, weight transfer, spinal load distribution, are better than they were in 2019. Not the same. Better, how is that possible? Because they didn't just fix him. They optimized him. And now the question isn't whether he can play. It's whether the sport is ready for what he's about to become. Have you ever watched someone refuse to be defined by their limitations? Drop a comment if you've seen that kind of fight in yourself or someone you know. Because what happens next will make you rethink what the human body is capable of. October 2025. Phase 3. Left knee. This is the big one. Bone on bone means no cartilage. And without cartilage, every step is joint grinding on joint. So they do something radical. They inject Tiger's knee with a synthetic cartilage matrix embedded with his own stem cells. The goal? Regrow what's been lost. It's never been done in a professional athlete. The recovery window? 4 to 6 months. Tiger gives himself 3. During this time, something breaks. Not physically. Mentally. He's alone most days. His kids visit on weekends. His ex-wife calls to check in. But the rest of the time, it's just him and the pain. And one night, in November, he sits in his rehab suite and stares at his hands. These hands have held 15 major trophies. These hands have signed autographs for millions. And right now, they're shaking. Not from weakness. From doubt. He calls his mother. The conversation lasts 11 minutes. No one knows what was said. But the next morning, he's back in the gym. And this time, there's something different in his eyes. Not hope. Certainty. December 2025. Tiger's team conducts a full-body stress test. Swing simulation. Impact resistance. Rotational velocity. The results are sent to a third-party lab for verification because even his own doctors don't believe them. Tiger Woods, at 49 years old, with 7 major surgeries in 18 months, is generating clubhead speed within 4% of his peak in 2000. His spine can handle torque loads that would injure most healthy 30-year-olds. And his knee, the one that was bone on bone, is showing signs of cartilage regeneration visible on MRI. Dr. Takahashi sits in his office, staring at the scans, and says out loud to no one, "This shouldn't be real." But it is, and now, the world is about to find out. January 2026. Tiger Woods announces his return. Not to a press conference. Not to a major outlet. He does it the only way that makes sense. He enters the Genesis Invitational, his own tournament. And he doesn't say a word about the surgeries. He doesn't mention the $50 million. He just shows up. Practices for 2 days. And on Thursday, February 13th, he tees off in front of 12,000 people who have no idea what they're about to witness. First hole. Par 4. Tiger steps up. The crowd goes silent. He sets his feet, takes a breath, and swings. The sound is unmistakable. That crack. That pure, violent, beautiful crack of club meeting ball at 122 miles per hour. The ball sails 310 yards, dead center fairway. Tiger watches it land. Then he turns. And for the first time in 2 years, he smiles. Not a media smile. A real one. By the end of the day, he shoots 68. 4 under par. Not a victory. But not a farewell tour either. This is a man playing like he has something left to prove. And maybe he does. Because over the next 3 months, Tiger plays in 8 events. He makes 7 cuts. He finishes top 20 in 4 of them. He's not winning. Not yet. But he's competing. And that, in itself, is a medical miracle. Then comes the question everyone's asking. Why? Why $50 million? Why 18 months of agony? Why risk everything for a game you've already conquered? The answer, when it finally comes, isn't what anyone expects. It comes during a quiet moment after the Masters. Tiger finishes T19. Respectable. Emotional. And as he's walking off the course, a reporter asks him the question. Was it worth it? Tiger stops. Looks at him. And says, I didn't do this to prove I could still play. I did it to prove I could still choose. And that's the real story. Not the comeback. The choice. Because for 2 years, Tiger's body made decisions for him. When he could walk. When he could sleep. When he could hold his kids. And all of this was about taking that power back. Not from age. Not from injury. From inevitability. If you've ever fought for the right to decide your own story, this one's for you. And if that kind of resilience means something to you, subscribe, because we're telling the stories other channels won't. So here's where we are. Tiger Woods is 50 years old. He's played a full season. He's healthy. He's not the Tiger of 2000. But he's something else. Something no one predicted. A cautionary tale that became a blueprint. A medical experiment that became a movement. And in 2026, the question isn't whether he can win again. It's whether we're ready to stop underestimating him, because every time we do, he finds a way to make us remember. Not who he was. Who he still is, and maybe that's the point. Not to chase greatness. But to refuse to let go of it until you decide you're done. On your terms. In your time. With your hands still on the club, Tiger Woods didn't just come back. He rewrote the ending. And whether he wins another major or not, he's already won the only battle that ever really mattered. The one against his own limitations. The one we all face. The one most of us lose. But not him. Not yet. Not ever.